2017 induction ceremony of the International Sports Hall of Fame with your host and Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Robert Goldman. Recorded live at the Arnold Sports Festival in Columbus, Ohio.
Our next inductee, Bill Kazmier. When the first time I saw Bill, I thought I was seeing a mountain. Bill, one of the strongest men in the world, and by some people's measure, well, Mark Henry and Bill, two strongest men in the world, are in this room today. During the 1970s and 1980s, he set numerous powerlifting and strongman world records and won numerous world strongman titles. Just a remarkable all-around athlete because not only as a world champion powerlifter, world champion strongman, and professional wrestler, this guy is out there preaching to young kids and educating them on healthy lifestyle and how to stay motivated and improve their lives. He's one of the all-time greatest competitors in the strength games. He's the first human to bench press over 660 pounds. And in the powerlifting meet, his total was over 1,100 kilograms, 2,445 pounds. Enormous amount of weight. He also had the deadlift record, 886 pounds. And then he went on to the strongman competitions. In fact, at the museum, at the Stark Center Museum in the University of Texas Austin, is this huge picture of Bill and his kilt throwing another huge item, and me and Mark were there, took a picture in front of him. We both looked a little small next to the picture, but I think it was a little larger than life. In addition, he won the World's Strongest Man contest and dominated the strongman competitions in 1981, 1980, 1981, and 1982 by a very, very large margin. So what we're looking at here is one of the world's strongest men in history. And that's a really kind of unique title to say, you know what, I'm the strongest person that was ever born on this planet. Bill Kazmier. Yes. Now, I know, like Mark Henry, no trouble putting this around your neck. No.
Where are my notes? I lost my notes. What am I going to do? Well, what an incredible honor and an afternoon for me. Of course, with a big show coming up this afternoon and this evening, my mind could quite possibly be somewhere else, thinking about Brian Shaw and Hafthor Bjornsson and a few of the other athletes, along with what they're going to do on that stage with Mark Henry and I in just a few minutes. They said we'd get there by 1:45, so I'm going to keep this really short. And thank you so much. And congratulate all the other inductees. Such a tough act to follow as far as an acceptance speech. I'd simply like to say that I had a lot of motivation through my life also by support and family, except when your father was so encouraging, my father told me that I would be horseshit and nothing else but. So I was able to overcome that, the negative reinforcement. I've had a few heroes in my life that have really influenced me. Lately, he's sitting in the front row on the far left, Ronnie Coleman. Because I feel like pretty remarkable man. So many times when I met him in his career, when he was at his peak, I had to gasp. He was that big. But the measure of a man is how you react on a bad day. And many of us will fall and look for pity, maybe not get back up, maybe have people walk all over us. But a true champion will pop back up and overcome. So many times in my career, take for instance 81 in World's Strongest Man when I bent a steel bar and tore my pectoral, deltoid, and bicep off. I left parts of my body on the field of battle. My doctor said, we got to go to the hospital. I said, I can't go yet. I got 4 events, and my title, my trophy, and my check is still here, and I'm not leaving until I take it. Out of those 4 events, I took 2 firsts, a second, a third, and a fourth. Many, many times in the World's Strongest Man, I tore both hamstrings. Once with an 870-pound squat. I wrapped it and went 950 and tore the other one. Okay, after squatting, I had to deadlift. We know what muscles, Eddie Cohen, greatest power lifter ever, front row, former inductee. We know what muscles are used in deadlift. I couldn't bend my legs. The first lift was 700 pounds. I went then 700, 800, 900. 925, 50, 75, 1,000, 1,000, 25,000, 50 with 2 torn hamstrings to become the strongest man in the world. Again, the measure of a man is how do you react on a bad day. One of my friends is here, and I really have to have a shout-out to Tom Hanrath. When we were 10 years old, I haven't seen him in 53 years. I just saw him yesterday, and he's here in the third row. Tom, when you jumped out of perfectly good airplanes into the water and then swam a mile underwater and did your missions and all that all over the world, you really inspired me as I was growing up. As I was doing my strongman stuff, you were out fighting wars and protecting us and keeping us free. You're now 110 pounds. I'm 330 pounds. The measure of a man is not the size of his body, it's the size of his heart. And Tom Hanrath, thank you for all you did, not only in the military and keeping us all safe, but also what you did after, which was saving lives, working in the military, and now helping all the veterans with what they're doing as they've come back. I've got Fairfax told me I had 35 minutes. I believe, was it 3 to 5? Yeah. Well, then, one other hero before I thank the people in my history that really have helped me a lot. Stevie. We're going to see Stevie compete tomorrow. I met him in England about a month ago. What a remarkable guy. Flipping tires, doing a log press, all the strongman events, really has overcome adversity. Stevie, fantastic guy. With his prosthetics, he stands about this tall. Without him, he stands about this tall. One of the toughest guys I ever met, lost both legs over in England in some fighting, lost many of his fingers. The measure of a man is how do you react on a bad day. The three guys in my life that have really influenced me the most, when I go way back, it's going to have been the great Carlisle Indian, Jim Thorpe, Native American, excuse me. He won the pentathlon, the decathlon, and was a football player and a baseball player. He really motivated me to do the things that I did as I grew up to become a decathlete of strength. Herschel, you would know Dick Kazmier, 1951, Princeton University. He overcame adversity in that he was rather small. He didn't quite know what to do against most of the other teams in the Ivy League, so he scrambled all over as a halfback. He threw the ball, which was unusual, and then he did a quick kick. And for that, they gave him the wonderful bronze trophy. Last but not least is guys who have really motivated me, the guy that gave me many pearls of knowledge in my life. As I try to go into schools and talk to kids and give them these pearls of knowledge, I got many of mine from a guy who stood on stage with Arnold and Lou and Franco and Frank, and at 53 years old, he looked magnificent. He looked like a mountain of a man, extremely muscular. At 53, Bill Pearl. He gave me the keys to the inner universe that helped me in the physical culture, and I try to share it with others wherever I go, in every community. So thank you so much for this award.